Hi guys, Ron Lydian back with a new demo of the Marshall Origin 50. It's a new 50 watt head that Marshall's just released, and its roots, it defers back to one of the older 50 watt models. I'd have to research that and see exactly which one, but as you can see, it has metal switches and it has the dome indicator lamp. The switches are from left to right. It's power, off, on. It's output, low, middle, high, and then the indicator switch. The controls are presence, master volume, treble, middle, bass, tilt control, and gain with a pull boost, which is also, you can use a foot switch to boost or cut. And the foot switch also brings in the effects loop in or out for the effects loop. For all intents and purposes, an on-off switch for the effects loop. All right, so let's get into some tones. So I'm on the middle output position. So it's kind of a clean crunch. If I roll off volume from the guitar, it's really nice and pristine. So I'll bring in the boost. Pretty significant boost, as you can tell. Okay, so now I'm going to engage the effects loop. So I'll bring in the noise gate and the chorus, and let's see how that clean sounds with some chorus on it. Quite nice. And typically during a live circumstance, or even in the studio, I would be using a volume pedal. But in this case, just using the volume knob from the guitar. All right, so let's hear it with a little bit of reverb. That's nice. It's really nice. And how about some delay? Yeah, nice. Very nice. And I'm using a noise gate, so it's not very noisy. I will tap the coil. So this is coil tap, volume's all the way up. My hands are not on the guitar, and absolute quiet. Okay, all right, so now let's get into some gain sounds. So for the gain, I'm using a Walrus Audio fundamental drive. let's hear that in single coil. Very nice. Okay, so let's try some different settings. So I typically run presence, if you can see it. Presence is typically at 7 for me, 7, 8, never go higher than 8. Treble, pretty much 12 o'clock, although I might go 6. Middle, I like around 3, 4. Bass, I usually keep at 12 o'clock. And the tilt control, I'm using it at 6. So let me show you just what the tilt control does. So that's the tilt control at 0. It's kind of like it kind of reminds me of a contour control, like on the BBE Sonic Maximizer, which I used to use back in the 90s. So, or a brightness control. I made a couple of these just sample videos for a buddy of mine. He said it's kind of like an extra presence control. And he may be right. So here's presence. So let's take presence all the way to 0. And you know, the higher presence, the more you're going to shake that speaker. But like I said, I don't like to take presence any higher than 8. So for the sake of this, let's just leave it at 8 for the time being. Treble, we take it to 0. No treble. Now let's leave it at 4. Sounds kind of growly, like that. All right, so middle, if you take it down, you've successfully scooped it out. You know, a very popular heavy metal tone for very many guitar players these days. Although I like to have a little bit more projection. I like that tone where you think, hey, has he got a wah-wah pedal on? But I actually don't. There's no wah-wah pedal on. So anyway, so let's get to the gain. All right, so. And in the case of this amp, the gain does just that. This is not a distortion control. This is, in fact, a gain control. This will make this thing incredibly loud in spite of the fact that it's only 50 watts RMS. So obviously I'm not going to play it that loud in an apartment. And you take it down and it basically cuts the volume completely. So pretty impressive. I'm not going to bother with the master because you get it. I think you realize, yeah, this is a pretty loud amp. Okay, let me stumble over the stand here. Oh, actually I wanted to move that just a tad, so that turns out that actually works out. All right, so I'm going to take it up to the high power output setting, just so you can see the difference. Now I am using the power attenuator, but the power attenuator is actually, where do I have it? Yeah, it's on 2 right about now. So they're about 1.5. So this is terribly loud, but I mean, you can definitely hear this without a doubt. All right, so you get a sense this amp is quite powerful in spite of being only 50 watts. So I plan to take this amp in the studio rather than the Ingalls setup, because the Ingalls setup, it's really, really heavy, and I got a hernia, and I wouldn't like that hernia to rip open again. So that means I'd probably have to hire somebody, get somebody to carry the thing, and it would be a bunch of hassle. So rather than do that, yeah, just get the transport, pick up the Marshall by the handle. The studio most likely has cabinets there, so I don't have to bring a cabinet, bring my guitar and the pedal board, and I'm good to go. And then we can start recording. So that's perfect. So let's hear a little, I'm gonna pop on the delay. So let's engage the delay. And let's hear a little wah-wah action with the Crybaby 535Q. Great sound. And also, what does single coil sound like with all the gain? Pretty good, actually. Nice out of phase tone. Really nice, really nice. So yeah, this is a really, really cool, brand new Marshall 50-watt head. I never thought Marshall was actually going to re-release heads like this because, and I'm not bashing the newer models because I've heard some of the newer models, the 2000 lines, and they sound really cool. I mean, they got a lot of gain, a lot of saturation, a lot of features, on and on and on. But, I have a really soft spot in my heart for the older Marshalls because those are the first Marshalls I ever owned as a guitar player when I was young. And it's really nice to see that Marshall is respecting, the origins of the amp and reproducing amps like this. I almost thought it was a plexi when I first saw the photo, but no, this is not plexiglass. This is the polished metal casing. Obviously, if they had put plexiglass on there, they could have charged more. I bought this at Thomann. It's a steel. It, I think, cost me 549 euros. This is really a bargain considering what this amp can do. I will list the full specs and the description so you can read those at your leisure in detail. So yeah, if you are a fan of Marshall amps and you like 50s, this is definitely the amp to get. I can only recommend this. So yeah. This has been Ron Lydian. I hope you enjoy what I'm doing, and if you do, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I list new content, anytime I upload any new videos or video clips. And you can also check me out at Instagram, and that's Ron Lydian2 Instagram. Ron Lydian and the number 2 at Instagram. All right, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and keep on rocking.